Shut up and sit down.
Greetings, fellow Earth travelers. Oblyx here, coming at you today from the new frontier. How y'all doing today? Man, oh man, it is a bittersweet day here on the frontier. So, I want to start with taking a look at our botanic tree farm. And, as you guys can see, it is not running right now. There is a minor hitch in the giddy up, and I'm going to show you guys how to take care of that. So, the problem is, this guy is just too dadgum efficient. It works too good. What happens is all the spreaders fill up with mana. All the mana pools fill up with mana, and it just stops. You know, once a spreader is full of mana, another spreader can't shoot mana into it. So, the fix for this, well, there's two fixes you could do. One, you could just pipe the mana off into some big old mana battery over there somewhere. Yeah, we're not going to be doing that with this one. The second option is that guy. If you look down in the bottom of that mana pool, there's funkiness down there. What that is a block called a mana void. And what it does is it lets mana flow into this pool, but when the pool gets full, it just voids the excess. So it'll keep this guy going forever. So, make that little change and this guy will run like a treat. Now, there is another issue, but this one is not a flaw in the design, but, well, something broken in the pack. Either in the pack or the mod, don't know which. But you will notice all of our spreaders are pointed the same direction. All of those, that one, and all of these are pointed in the same direction. And they're all missing their lenses. Remember, every other one of these had a lens on it, a bore resistance lens, and it's missing. If I come over here to these spreaders that were over here, you notice they're also pointing that way, just like those over there are. So something happened. I don't know if it was the end of Halloween. Remember, all these had jack-o'-lanterns on the side? Well, I think these had pumpkins and those had jack-o'-lanterns. Now that it's not around Halloween anymore, they've reverted back. It's possible that was the problem. I don't know. But I can tell you, if we can't use spreaders, then Botania is going to be really hard. If spreaders are unreliable in this pack, then there's absolutely no point in pursuing Botania. Or going any further, building all the super cool machines that I had planned and have been working on, because if that happens, they're just gonna break. So that's the thing. Another thing I want to show you guys, I have been doing a whole lot of work on figuring out deep storage for us, because we've been using these drawers, and you know, they've been fine, but they're not nearly big enough for what we need to do. And I have run into quite a few problems with the drawers, both the regular drawers and these compacting drawers. In fact, if I put a drawer in that slot right there, when I start putting items into it, it voids them, even without a void upgrade. Just things disappear. And I'm noticing that happening in a lot of the drawers. So yeah, that's no bueno. So I've been looking at other deep storage options. You know, we did look at them back when we looked at IC2, and we have been using these bins from Mechanism, and they work great. The only problem is, actually, I'll take you down here and I'll show you. We've used a lot of them. They connect up to our refined storage system just fine. They're down here, all these refined storage connections are for these bins. And you can see, we've been using them just fine. They work great with our refined storage system. The only problem is these are the biggest bins you can have, these purple ones. They hold about 2,064 items, and that's it. That's all she wrote. And there's no automatic void option. So I'd have to come up with some kind of logistical pipe type of situation to handle the overflow. But for the base that I'm planning, that I've been planning on since the beginning, we're going to need a lot more blocks than that. So the bins just aren't going to cut it. So I've been looking at other options. One option was Java barrels. And we did look at those before, and we know they're a bit problematic. But I thought, hey, if we, when you pick them up and move them with items in them, they tend to void the items. So I figured, hey, if we just set them down, forget them, don't move them, maybe we'll be okay. Well, there is a problem with them beyond that. And let me show you. This particular Java barrel has 133 blueberries in it. And it is locked, so it will only let blueberries go in. So that's cool. It is connected to our refined storage system through that external storage connector right there. If we look in our wireless and I search on blueberries, if I spell it right, you see there's our 133. No problem. The problem comes when I take all the blueberries out, and I'm going to go ahead and do that now. There we go. We're down to 0. But you notice we still see a blueberry because it's locked. If I open up our wireless and type in blueberry again, you notice we still see 1 blueberry, but I can't pull it out. That is going to be a problem. When we go to AutoCraft, when we run out of a particular item, our refined storage system would still think we had an item to use. Basically, the Java barrel is lying to our refined storage system, and that breaks auto crafting. So the only other option would be to unlock this Java barrel. But if we do that and we empty out our blueberries, anything else, whatever the next item we store, is going to go into here, and we no longer have space specifically for blueberries or whatever it is we're trying to store. So that's a huge problem for us going forward. That's basically a no-go, meaning we cannot use Java barrels. So the another deep storage item is these caches from Thermal Expansion. Now this one is fully upgraded to resonant. It is quite huge. If I pull it off the wall here and look at it, it's got 500,000 items, about double what our mechanism bins can hold. This particular one has blackberries. And I should have looked at it while I had it off there. But it's got currently 144 blackberries in there. If you look at the content down there, pop it on here, connected through refined storage again. Now, if I come over here and type blackberries, notice what it says, 64. But we know we have 144 in there. Let me take 64 out. There we go. I've got 64 in my inventory. Notice it still says 64. It's because there's actually 144 there, but the cache will only report 64 to refined storage. That is, again, a problem for auto-crafting. If you have a recipe that requires 128 items, your system's going to think you only have 64, even though you have, in the case of blackberries, 144. So it's lying to the crafting system. Thus, the crafting system is going to break. So that's a no-go. Anytime you're lying to the crafting system, that storage cannot be used. So it's most definitely a no-go. Now, I've got one more down here that I'll show you that I played around with. And it is these guys, these black hole units from Industrial Foregoing. These guys have worked great. I mean, they hold something like 2 billion units, which is fantastic. You see, this one's got 406,000 items in it, which is a huge amount of items. This one's got 63,000. They just hold a large amount of items. But you will notice they are not connected to our refined storage system. Reason being, the second you connect these to refined storage, the CPU cycles on your server go through the roof. Your server has a hard time processing these bad boys. All it takes is one of them, and your server performance goes to pot. So these are most definitely a no-go. Cannot be used on a public server. In fact, really they should be made uncraftable, because if you're on a public server, that can present a lot of problems if you have a bunch of people using them. So another thing that I did look at is there's some disks in this pack that will expand on refined storage. They're from the mod Storage Tech. So you see here, you can continue building disk parts. Remember, refined storage, the largest disk is 64K. Well, with Storage Tech, you can build parts, and here's a 256 to make a 256K, a 1024K, a 496K, a 16384K. Huge disks. So I went to go set up some auto crafting for these, so we could start building some of these guys. Thinking, okay, we just won't use bulk storage. We'll just use huge disks. Problem solved. We'll move on. Well, here's the problem. When you go to craft these things, and I'm going to be very careful here because I don't want to crash anything. These guys here will crash your client. Not the server, but your client. And it has nothing to do... Remember before we had a problem where certain things that tried to render on a tinkerer's table would crash our client. And the way we got around that was we used this little guy here, a crafting table on a stick, because it doesn't try to render anything. Well, even using this guy, it still crashes. You put these parts in there at all, and it crashes your client. So they're basically unusable. They really should be removed from the pack. They're not compatible. Very, very problematic. So there you go. Basically, we have no deep storage. None that we can use. That kind of sucks. We're either going to have to build a whole bunch of hard disks, or use these mechanism bins, which are significantly smaller, and just use a ton of them. Either way, it's not going to work out for us. But that is kind of led me in another direction to think about some other things. I spent a while looking at this problem from different directions, seeing if I could come up with a reasonable solution. And the more I looked at it, the more I realized this pack is gotten dated. It is running 1.11.2 to be exact. Ichigo Games has pretty much stopped developing on it. He occasionally releases an update, but they're fairly rare. He himself will tell you he's not developing on it anymore. He's moved on to developing a 1.12.2 pack. Actually, he's got a couple of 1.12.2 packs out there. And that's where his passion lies, so that's where he's going to put his focus, which is, of course, fair enough. But yeah, I've been thinking maybe it's time to move over to a 1.12 pack and leave this 1.11 pack behind. Given the problems that we're starting to run into, we're starting to find with the pack, maybe the time. Maybe a good time to go ahead and move over. So I'm thinking that's probably what we're going to do. I did build this very cool mechanism auto crafting setup here, where you don't have, you just have one crafter. You don't have one crafter per machine. You have one crafter using a nice logistical sorter here that is pushing items out based on color to the appropriate place. So you see we got 3 colors up front here, and we've got 3 colors in the back here. And you know, whenever you tell it to autocraft such and such, like for example, if I say alloys, I know I'm getting a little off track here, but hey, deal with it. If I just do some, you know, regular all alloys and say give me 10 of them, did it happen so fast we didn't even see it? What the heck? Where's my 10? Did it even go? Oh yeah, it's already gone. Or I didn't say go. That could be a thing. Alright, let's come over here and do it again, where we can see what's going on. If I say alloys, let's do 20. Alright, it's got everything it needs. There we go. See it flow into the right place because of the colors? And then of course it goes into the machine, produces everything super fast because it's a fully upgraded machine. And then it just sucks it all right back into refined storage. So now we're up to 86 that fast. We produce 20 super quick. Yeah, very cool little system. But yeah, I think it's time, guys. I think it's time to shut this series down. Avoid any of these continuing little problems. I did have quite a few plans for what I wanted to do with the new base, but that's okay. We can transpose those over into the new world. So I want to ask you, what pack do you think we should move on to? I would like to move to a 112 pack. There's plenty of options. You know, Ichigo's got the Beyond the New Frontier series, which is a 112 pack. Let's just kind of walk through our world while we talk here. Let's start down at the bottom, down in our mining area. So Ichigo's released Beyond the New Frontier, which is the replacement for this pack. Big old empty mining area. He's released a, you know, remember this pack has the mobs turned up really high. But he's released an even harder pack called the Dark Frontier, which is pretty cool. This is our ore shrub processing. I don't know if I've ever shown this on camera. It's one of those things I keep meaning to show you guys and show you how it works. You know, just haven't got there. Yeah. Basically, all these shrubs grow ores of various kinds, and these absorption hoppers collect them. The mechanical users knock them off the shrubs, throws them all into this crate right here, which shoots them over to these auto crafters, and these auto crafters do their crafty. And yeah, that's a thing. Sometimes they get a little out of whack, but a little shuffling makes them all happy again. It kind of goes on whatever one's first if you unload the chunks and reload them again. Once you get it straight, it stays straight until you unload the chunks again. But you can see it's done quite a bit of crafting. So we've gotten tons of ores out of these shrubs. I actually haven't used any of these upstairs yet. In fact, here's a whole other crate full of them that I never did transport upstairs. So well, we've got tons of material if we ever needed it. Of course, then we've got our little room down here, which y'all are familiar with. Another pack that's available just came out not too long ago. It's called Horizons 3, which was released by the FTB team, and it is designed to highlight some of the lesser known mods that are out there. You know, it tries to avoid the really big ones unless they fill a specific role. What's up, Skelly? Get blowed up. I love this boomerang. Pretty tough skeleton to take that kind of licking. Sorry, squid. Anyway, so you got Horizons 3, which is, I said it highlights lesser known packs, or lesser known mods. Here's our super cool diesel generator setup. Our miner. Hello, sheep. Another problem I've been having with this pack is animals disappearing. Remember we had a horse in here and some pigs. They're gone. All of our chickens are gone. And the cow we moved over here not long ago has come up missing as well. So, yeah, that's a thing. That was getting a little bit obnoxious. The animals just disappearing on us. So, yeah. Man, the mobs are like crazy out here all of a sudden. What the heck? What's up, homeboy? Get blowed up. Uh-oh. Well, that was a mistake. I blew up. I blowed myself up. Now when I go out here, because I don't have my charm, all them baddies are going to want to come say hey. Hi. I got my charm again. Na 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 na. Heat boomerang. Anyway, we could also go with the Skyblock. We could do Modern Skyblock. Modern Skyblock 2, if you guys wanted to do that. That's an option. What is hurting me? And why do I have extra hearts? Huh. Weirdness ensues. Very, very weird. Okay. Yeah, I've got nothing that should be giving me extra hearts, yet I have extra hearts. Okay. Fair enough. Maruski. This is the machine that has been hidden since like episode 2. Hidden in plain sight. This is based on an XP crafted design to put logs here in the middle and use these tree extractors to pull out the latex. And you can see we've got, what, 12,500 buckets of latex. Unlike XP crafted, though, mine doesn't lose logs. I've put 64 logs in here from the beginning. I've never reloaded it. And there's still 64 logs in here. And it has been running since about our second episode. I don't remember these hurting before. Maybe they do now. Or maybe something was glitchy. I don't know. But yeah, that's been there for a very, very long time. And that's... Maruski's a great person, been watching all my episodes, and I've been picking on her about the fact that she hasn't seen that machine. So I wanted to show her before we ended up the series. Yeah, you guys let me know which pack you think I should play, or if there's one I haven't thought of. Man, let me know. Throw it out there. And we'll look at moving on. Now I do have, this is our mob farm, super cool. I've got it turned off. We can go run over here and turn it on, see what happens. I am going to be starting a new series, probably, well, it's going to be starting very, very soon. But, at least for me anyway, I'm not sure when it will show up on the channel. But it will be a group series with a bunch of different people, and it should be pretty fun. Look at the just rain of giblets. Nice. All the dead things. Love it, love it, love it. So, that's going to be coming out real soon. So, ending this series will give me the opportunity to work more diligently on that series. Though I don't think it's going to be a very long-running series. yeah, it'll be a good transition between this series and whatever we replace it with. Oh wow, we were just out of render distance for these falling bits. Man, oh man, look at all that stuff just raining down. So cool. But yeah, I've had a lot of fun with this world, and I said I have had a lot of plans. Luckily, most of them will transition over into whatever series we end up with. I do want to keep, kind of a private series going like this, where it's just me. All the mod series that I'm doing on XP Crafted's patron server is gonna stay going for the time being. I know the server's been a bit problematic for some folks lately, so hopefully that doesn't carry over to us. If it does, we'll reevaluate, but for the time being, the plan is to keep it up and going. Oh, there's a glitch. Huh. Wonder if that's just visual or if it's actually broken. Pop a glare torch. And it is actually broken. So there's another problem with the pack. Fantastic. Well, I guess it's a good thing we're ending the series, isn't it? A lot of little broken things. Anyway, as always, I sure do appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with me on the end of the New Frontier series. And I look forward to hearing what y'all writing it down below about where we should take it, what our next series should be. So, until next time, get out there and make some noise. See ya!